Would you mind getting inside the oven to clean it?
Hello, and welcome to the final podcast. The last podcast you will ever listen to.
Your final brothers are here. It's Brian Hopper and Shane, my dick has two heads, probably something I picked up in Amsterdam, Smith. And we are still well within our friend M. Night Shyamalan month. It's his month.
It is his month.
Dedicated to him. He's our friend.
Yes. And we're kind of continuing the trend of doing his newer movies. We did Knock at the Cabin, we did Old, and now we're going to do The Visit.
The Visit. I just knocked the fuck out of that shit down on our desk.
Yeah, that shit's down. I'll get it. I'll get that shit.
Well, let's see that reach. Look at that wingspan. You play basketball?
I think does that look good?
Yeah, it's only a matter of time that's going to fall too, because it looks like it's unbalanced.
I definitely did the worst job imaginable.
You pushed it a little further along.
Like that one?
No, like further. There. Here we go.
I did it. I've done it.
So let's talk The Visit. Okay, this movie is interesting. It's a movie that's very disarming.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just going to say it now. Maybe one of the worst displays of parenting I've ever seen. I'm just going to say it. I'm going to rip the Band-Aid off. Everyone's thinking it, so I'm just going to say it. If you know anything about this movie, it's the story of a single mom and her two kids, and she leaves them with her grandparents, their grandparents.
Doesn't even leave them, sends them there.
Sends them there, with the only contact being occasional Skype calls. These kids are probably the ages of maybe 12 and maybe 17. Maybe that's a little too much for her. Maybe 16.
I think she's supposed to be like 15, 16. Like they're young.
Freshman of high school. Yeah, it's fucking wild. So even though it's her grandparents, the thing is, it's not like the mom's parents are in contact.
They've been estranged for what, like 15 years?
15 years. She has not talked to them.
Yeah.
So she has nobody else to give these kids to because of a recent breakup. So she leaves them with their grandparents.
Yeah, so the oldest daughter would be 15, right? Because she left when she was pregnant with the one.
Then 15, yeah, that makes sense. That checks. That tracks.
Yes, it does. So this is the thing, right? Wouldn't like you, I don't know, show a picture of your parents to your kids or drive them there? I know she doesn't want to see them because that's the whole point, is like she doesn't want to see her parents, but wouldn't you at least drop them off at the door or something? Not put them on a train by themselves to see people they've never met in their lives?
Yes.
Not knowing what they look like?
Yes. I mean, they could be kidnapped by
anyone.
Anybody.
Yeah, this is like a very sketchy thing, and I don't...
You do not like it.
It's just like you said.
Slavery is bad.
I do not like it. It's bad parenting. It's horrible parenting.
Yeah, I mean, that's the common thing. So there's a essential message to this movie, and it's don't hold grudges, especially with those you love.
Yes.
I feel like sometimes the creepiness of this movie does not synergize well with that message. Like the ending scene, I probably could have done without. I'm just going to be honest with you. I understand why it's in there. I do, and I'll talk about it when we get into our review. I just felt like could have left it probably more of like a creepier note at the end versus go for like she completes the documentary and now like she tells her daughter like don't feel this way about your father.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just felt like an add-on and I don't think it was necessary, but I get why it was there.
Yeah. Grudges are bad. I do not like them.
They
should be ended.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Yep. So let's get into this. I think we can. We're talking around it. Let's plow through the visit.
Are you saying let's jump into the spooky pit?
I'm trying to get there.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's spooky pit.
The Visit was released in 2015. It feels sooner than that, but it was actually released in 2015, Shane. A lesson in bad parenting. A single mom leaves her kids at her estranged parents so she can fuck like a rapper. The grandparents are pretty fucked up too. It's directed by M. Night Shyamalan. It stars Olivia DeJonge as Beck, Oxenbould as Tyler, essentially the cast from Better Watch Out. Deanna Dunnigan as Nana, Peter McRobbie as Pop Pop, Catherine Hahn as Mom.
Yeah, I was actually just looking at them. I'm like, wait, these guys, this was the cast in Better Watch Out. And it was. It definitely was.
Yeah, you even referenced that in the Better Watch Out.
I did, right? Yeah.
So I'm just going to say this now. Now that we're into the spooky pit, now that we covered the synopsis of the movie, she's a bad parent because she wants to fuck. Where is she going?
To fuck on a boat with her
Is it cruise?
boyfriend.
Do you know where, though?
The Aruba? The Bahamas?
She's going to some tropical place.
Yeah.
So the idea is, so she encounters heartbreak like you could never imagine. She left her parents so she can kind of just like elope with an older teacher of hers.
Yeah.
At a very young age. And essentially they're together, whatever, and they're together for, I think, like over 10 years or some shit. They're with a long time. She has these 2 kids with this guy, and all of a sudden this guy, what is he, like, walk into a fucking coffee house?
I think he met a waitress at a Waffle House.
Yeah, and then he and that was it.
He leaves.
He left them.
Never spoke to them again.
So, like, the whole idea of, like, the fact that she left her parents for this guy, the father left the kids, is like, she, meaning the eldest daughter, is kind of like going through in a way what the mother was going through.
Yeah, it's kind of grudge-ception.
It is a grudge something.
There's cyclical. A grudge within a grudge.
Yeah, it is cyclical. It's a movie. It's absolutely a movie with a message, but it's got like this horror embryo.
Yes.
And I'm saying, like, I think that these two, while they're trying to synergize, I feel like they don't totally collide.
Gel at the end?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
It didn't feel warm and cozy at the end, but, like, I do think the movie is really good, and I do think that it's a very scary concept because, like, they have no contact with these grandparents.
No, never seen them before, never met them.
And out of the fucking gate, it doesn't even take long, do they start observing odd behavior.
Yes.
Yes, they are old, and they're going to get off with the, we're old, so you're going to see.
I love how literally the grandpa says, we're old.
We're
old people do old people things.
Yeah. There is some shit to it, and you're thinking, at least when I first watched this, I kind of knew the second time watching this because it's the second time.
Yeah.
I remember the route this movie took.
Yeah.
But, like, I remember the first time we watched it, and I'm like, these are definitely aliens. Like, these are not real. These are not real people.
Yeah.
These are aliens, and they're inhabiting the carcasses of the parents.
Yes.
And their real skin is shed. These are like, it's a body snatcher.
Yeah,
movie.
yeah,
That was my vibe. It does not go that route at all. It probably goes the best route it could have went.
Yes.
I didn't see the twist coming in the first. There's definitely a Shyamalan twisteroo.
And what I like on second viewing is it makes a lot of sense. There are so many sub-clues to it that I really like.
Makes total sense. He went the right route for this twist.
Yeah. There's scenes in this movie that I don't know if they're supposed to be funny or just I can't think of the word. Unintentionally funny. But, like, later on in the movie where, like, they're just going into the barn and the grandpa has the shotgun in his mouth and he's like, I was just cleaning. I swear I was just cleaning. It is so fucking funny. But I think it's supposed to be, like, a little funny at that point.
I mean, I think the whole part where she's, like, playing hide and seek on all fours, I think it's hilarious.
Oh, my God. And then she comes out and her ass is just hanging out. That old woman shows so much butt.
You see this woman's ass several times throughout this movie.
Yeah.
It's I guess where I got confused is when they're playing the hide and seek game. So she's suffering from, like,
sundowning.
Supposedly suffering from this sundowning, and they're suspicious. That was, like, in the middle of the fucking day. That wasn't at night, I don't think, when they were playing hide and seek. So that was just a little weird. Like,
I think it was just like, well, because sundowning. So I think the main difference is she knew what she was doing under there because, like, when she comes out, she's like, "Ha, you kids playing a game." The sundown, she's just like a demon woman.
Yeah, she's an absolute demon woman.
I got jump scared legit in this movie when she just jumps in front of the camera and takes it the first time. Like,
Yeah.
She like growls. She's like, "Brr."
Oh, the movie's scary. Like,
Yeah.
the concept's scary.
It got me.
100%. Like, this is probably one of his scarier movies.
Yeah.
I think so.
I agree.
I think this concept is creepy.
It is.
We'll get into it. I just have one more thing for you. I thought this whole, like, Sinformalia cult thing they were going for, I know that's, like, what they were trying to do in a way, but it just, like, I feel like it doesn't make total sense to me with the route they take.
Oh, no, she's just crazy.
She's just crazy, right?
Yeah, the whole idea
whole
is none of that is
Sinformalia?
real. It's just all in her head.
She's like looking through the well.
Yeah, the
And
whole
that's
idea is that she believes in these alien creatures that live in the water, and that
and they
she's
spit into the water, and then like people go to the bottom to rest, and then they'll be eventually taken by some like
to a different place.
Yeah, travel to
Yeah,
a
it's
different
all
place.
it's all just in her head. It's just like schizophrenic shit. It's crazy. It's crazy people talk. That's how I took it.
Yeah,
anyway.
I was curious. I'm like, I guess like, I'm saying like, is she trying to? Are they trying to kill people for that reason? But I don't think that's the case.
Yeah, I think
Is that-
I think she fully believes that is why she kills. Like,
She wants to kill to put them in the bottom with her, and then they'll go to another
yes,
place.
yes. I think she fully believes that. I think the old guy is just in love with her and is just doing whatever because they are like a crazy couple, right? From that met in the insane asylum,
They're
like
fucking
that.
nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like that's the whole thing is just like he just goes along with her crazy shit and she goes along with his crazy
Well,
shit.
I think, you know, we obviously gonna spoil it. Like, I actually do think they're both legit loony. I think
Yeah.
from what I get, she has like this weird sundowning like dementia thing
Yes.
going on, and I think he's a full blown schizophrenic.
Yes. Well, because he keeps thinking he has a costume party to go to. He has a pooping disorder where he keeps shitting his pants.
Well, that's why I thought he was an alien too. Like that is such weird behavior.
Yeah.
That he's just fucking wearing diapers and shitting them and leaving them in
in
in the barn. Why is he leaving them in the barn?
That I don't know. Unless he actually is just ashamed of his poops, even though he then smears it all over that child's face. Yeah.
The boy gets
Yeah.
diapered.
I like how we're like talking strictly all over the place about this movie, but like it's kind of a movie where it's like you don't even need to go in order because the premise of this movie, like we said, is that the mom is strange. She just ships them off on a train. They show up, and it starts with the grandparents standing there with a banner, being like, "Hi, kids! Like this is us."
This is us.
Yeah.
And so the eldest daughter is going to be essentially doing a doc because she's trying to find the elixir for her mother.
It's done on purpose. It's supposed to come off as super pretentious and
It is
stupid.
very pretentious.
And it's funny because even the boys like, the fuck's an elixir? Like, what is it?
She
doesn't say.
Well, at least it's not shown on camera for another viewer. So you're thinking like, what the fuck does she mean? What's the elixir?
And it's just forgiveness. The elixir is forgiveness.
Forgiveness for the mom.
Yeah. We forgive you, you little girl.
It's just the fucking most empty thing when you find out the twist.
Yeah. It's so I love the first time she interviews her grandma because she starts fucking slapping her ass. She's like, no.
It's the greatest misdirect of all time.
Yeah, it really, really is. So, like, every time they bring up Loretta Jameson, the mother, they're like, you don't bring up Loretta Jameson in this house.
They do not like to be brought. It's the greatest cover because they're literally just like, you're not bringing that name up because there's well-known animosity.
Yeah.
But, like, they're just going to keep denying it just so they don't have to talk about it.
Yes. So there's no pictures in this house. There's no nothing. It's just it's a house with stuff in it, but no pictures. So you don't know what, like, any family photos are there. They're all missing.
No, it's just sleep.
Yeah. And they're not allowed to go in the basement because there's mold in the basement.
It's moldy as fuck. And they got to go to bed by 9:30.
Yes, because we're old and old people go to bed early.
Literally, they get there and, like, she's filming this doc and the son is, like, the next Mac Miller. And he raps so much throughout this movie.
It's funny because Mac Miller was the name I was thinking of the whole time I was watching this movie. So I'm like, I like that we were on the same page with that one.
I mean, he's got, like, this Tyler, the Creator type style.
Yeah.
That he's mentioning.
It's so... I love when I like how there's like an ongoing theme when this kid raps, like the people they meet and talk to are like, well, I used to be an actor. Like, and then they start giving and she's like, "Oh, Cameron died."
Yeah.
Like they keep trying to get in there.
Cameron's dying. Super funny. So let's I think almost immediately there's just a weird shit. I'm trying to think of the first weird thing they experience overnight. Is it literally the fact that the grandmother's clawing
at the doors? I think that's the first thing. So that's the first thing with the grandmother, and then the grandpa. The first thing is the poop diapers in the shed, because that's literally the next morning. They see him in the shed. They go in the shed. There's poop diapers everywhere, and that's when the grandma says. And it's never the actual grandparent explaining why they do it. It's the other grandparent explaining for the other one.
Yeah, we're old. This shit happens when you get old. I think it takes a few times for them to actually explain the sundowning.
Yes.
He has to eventually, but he's just like, she's old. I think I know the first thing's actually not the clawing. The first thing, she goes downstairs and sees her grandmother just puking in the middle of the night.
That's right.
Just puking everywhere.
That's right. That is the first thing that happens.
And that was just why was grandma sick last night? And it goes, it must have been just a stomach virus.
Yeah.
And then, so that's how and it's rational. It's burying it. She's just sick. But then the next thing is the clawing.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get to see them. They're playing an innocent game of hide and seek.
Yes.
Under the shed, under the deck. I mean, they're on all fours. They're playing, and she's closing her eyes. He's hiding, and as she's going about looking for him, you just see her crawl very quickly.
I would never in a million years play under there. There's just spiders and bugs.
Yeah,
I would never be caught dead under.
That's the scariest thing down there. It's not even her.
Yeah.
And then you get an ass shot.
Yeah.
Of the grandma.
Wild. You also, I think one of those days early on, a Dr. Sam shows up and he's like, "Hey, your Nana and Pop, they haven't been coming to the center to help with the crazies." They're like, "Have you are they all right?" And they're like, "Oh, they're out walking now, but they've been fine. We've been with them." He's like, "Okay, just let them know we're thinking of them and want them to come by."
Yeah, Dr. Sam, and then there's a Stacy that kind of periodically comes up too, and
Stacy comes up twice.
They're also walking. They're not there when they meet them.
Yeah, Stacy shows up, and Stacy's like, "Hey, brought this, I think she brings food or something for cookies and
probably a meatloaf."
Yeah, and she's like, "Hey, just wanted to make sure they're okay. They haven't been around in a while. Everyone misses them." She's like, "With the whole thing that happened there, I hope they're okay."
The whole thing that happened there.
I love how they both say that thing that's going on over there. They never say anything about it. It's very subtly mentioned.
What do they call it? The facility?
They don't call it. They call it a. Do they call it a rehabilitation center? I don't.
Yeah, they don't outwardly call it a sanitarium.
No, they don't. They don't. They just hint around it, and they hint around a little ordeal. They call it a little thing that's happening. They don't say two crazies broke out. Make sure your grandparents are okay, kind of thing, which is probably what should have been said. Yeah, eventually, Grandpa takes them out to go see the sights of the town. They go to the school,
and some guy is just following him.
He's just watching. He's like, "You see that guy watching me?" He fucking runs up and assaults this man.
Don't attack this man that wants nothing to do with you.
No, he wasn't looking at you. Stop. And he's fucking wailing on this.
He's like, "I'm sorry, I'm old."
I fucking love it. I'm old. It happens. I'm old. So they bring him back home, and they're talking to him about things, and he's literally getting dressed up in a tux.
Yeah, he's getting ready to go to the big party.
And they're like, "Grandpa, where are you going?" He's like, "Oh, the costume party. I gotta catch the train." They're like, "You sure that's not another day?" He's like, "Yeah, you're right. I don't know what I'm doing."
How to get here, you ask?
Now, I get it, because I take my grandpa out to dinner. We order the drinks. The waitress walks away. He's like, "Hey, when are we ordering our drinks?" That's old people shit. Yeah. It's just, it happens. They forget.
It really is sad.
And so, I get things like that, but these people then slowly start to go to the extremes.
Oh, no, it gets wild. The clawing, the grandma's gets really...
The grandma is scary. This woman
really creepy.
Does really good at being terrifying.
I'm trying to think of the other shit that she does, too. She does some other really creepy shit.
With just the freakouts when they mention her name.
She starts hitting herself.
Yeah, and just... There's the one scene where...
She's just shaking her head, uncontrollably.
And I was going to say the one scene where she's staring at the wall laughing.
That's the scene, yeah, I was just talking about.
And she's like... laughter keeps the dark demons away. And I'm like, oh, you're going through some shit. When someone tells you laughter keeps the dark demons away, you just distance yourself from that person until they're medicated.
The dark demons is fucking shit diaper.
Yo, it's fucking sick. This movie's sick. It always fascinates me how, like, people come up with this stuff, like, for movies. Like, how do you just think of, like, I wish I had the talent to think of these ideas to put onto film.
I would probably say, like, cocaine, but I don't think that's the case here.
No.
Shyamalan is just a different breed.
He's good, man. When Shyamalan is on,
Yeah.
when he is not being forced by a studio to do a Will Smith vanity project or a fucking Avatar movie.
It's not him, though. He's like this guy like that does like these horror sci-fi projects, and then we always say it, he has this like fairy tale mysticism piece in every one. That's like all this whole like pretentious elixir stuff, but like it does kind of shake in, and this whole Simmertalia bullshit.
Yeah. It's fucking the Lady in the Water syndrome with like the wood nymphs and stuff.
Wood nymphs. Bryce Dallas Howard's a wood nymph.
And she looks like a wood nymph.
She always did.
And it's great. And I love Bryce Dallas Howard.
There's also Gwen Stacy.
Is she?
Oh, yeah. You know that? In Spider-Man.
Oh.
She's Gwen
The
Stacy.
Tobey Maguire ones.
Yeah,
You're right.
The blonde hair.
Fuck. I actually forgot that. I was going to say, like, I like her in like Nosedive and Black Mirror.
Great.
She's not the greatest in the new Jurassic Parks, but that ain't her fault. Those movies are just bad.
Or The Village.
She's great in The Village.
Yeah.
Love her in The Village. I'm trying to think. To be fair to her, she's not bad in Lady in the Water. That's just a bad movie.
Yeah, it's not one of his better projects. Also, too much of him in that movie.
Yeah, he's not good in that movie. I feel like he got an ego around this time.
Yeah.
Where he did this and then like The Happening, and he just thinks he could get these big actors and make The Happening's biggest issues.
Like his shit doesn't stink. Like,
Yes.
He didn't put that shitty
Yeah,
diaper
I
on the
think he
barn.
needed to get put down a peg. And then he started putting out bangers again. The Visit, Split, like all came out like back to back.
Yeah.
Split, what came out first? Split or this?
Oh, I think this came out first,
Yeah.
right? This is 2015. I always thought this movie came out later, but it literally came out in 2015.
Yeah.
I think Split came out like 2017, maybe.
Okay. Because like Split's really fucking good too.
Yeah, Split's good.
And
then Glass came out. It's like,
right after Split, I believe. Yeah. So, okay. So Visit came out in 2015. Split came out 2016. And then Glass came out 2019. Glass was okay.
And then he went to
Old and Knock at the Cabin. And I think Knock at the Cabin is one of his better movies.
Yeah, Night at the Cabin's really good.
And
really
Old's
good.
held my interest.
It's decent. We reviewed that last week. Checked out the episode.
Yeah. And obviously, next week we got one more M. Night Shyamalan. We're going to do potentially one of his best movies, The Village.
Yeah.
Little spoiler,
Village,
but we're going to
Bryce
review it
Dallas.
down. Yeah. So, yeah, it was that 4 in a row where he did Lady in the Water, The Happening, The Last Airbender, and After Earth. All rough.
I'm going to change gears real quick here.
Okay.
Did this movie give you, like, Deborah Logan vibes?
Yes. With the old woman doing creepy stuff at night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With just a little bit more ass?
Yes, because there was no ass in the other one. So that's the thing. Both women in those movies are fantastic. They do such a good job of being terrifying. Deborah Logan turns into a snake demon.
Yeah, I like that storyline.
Me too.
With the...
I like Deborah Logan more than this one.
Really?
I really like Deborah Logan.
That's fair. I really like it too.
Then, but this is another thing. What am I doing? Comparing like an 8 to a 7 or like what a 7 to a like 7?
That's fair. I mean, they're both good.
Yeah, I like both movies. I think Deborah Logan was scarier, maybe, which is what.
Deborah Logan was frightening.
Yeah.
Yeah, that movie is really scary. Especially that first watch.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that when she becomes a snake, that shit's creepy.
Yes. Yeah, no. It's tough.
I mean, I like that
like
movie.
you said, we like both. So we're not like.
I really like this movie too. Okay, let's get back to
Yeah,
it.
well, yeah.
We got off track a little bit.
It's
but-
okay. I mean, going into it, we're getting close to like when like everything kind of culminates and like. So she's been interviewing. Like I said, everything's been weird. She eventually she asked about the Laura Jameson. She freaks out. So she phrases it. What if I told you a story? There's a little girl, and this little girl ran away from home. Yada, yada, yada. We know the story. Don't need to repeat it. She's like, what would you say to this little girl? And then she's like, I forgive you. And then she goes to her brother. She's like, I got the elixir.
Yeah.
She's like, I got what I need.
The forgiveness.
And now she's like, let's get the fuck out of here. Because okay. So that's something I guess we should have mentioned is as it's getting weirder and weirder, they're like, we need to leave.
Yeah, they want to leave. Well, the whole thing is like, she keeps defending her, and the kid's like, they're fucked up.
Yeah.
Like, they're clearly...
The brother wants to leave after the second day.
These people are fucked up. Mom hasn't seen them in so long. Doesn't matter. They're fucking, whether they're old, they're fucking sick, they have schizophrenia, or they're aliens. Like, who does she throw out the cinema Fratellia bullshit to?
The daughter, Becca.
And one of the documentary. That shit was creepy.
Yeah, and I would have...
That's not right.
Yeah.
That's cult stuff.
Yeah, no, I would have been gone. And this is the thing. The mom's a fucking enabler because the mom's like, oh, they're just old. The mom even says they're just old.
Multiple times on the Skype call. And I remember like they're like the whole clock like, Mom, on the last day you got to come up here. You have to come up here.
Well, they decide they're going to leave a day early because that night is when they see her grab the camera and a fucking butcher's knife and stand outside of their door.
That's the plan. They plant the camera downstairs, finally get the full thing. This is why I thought that she was like some kind of entity.
Yeah.
Because she spots the camera right away.
Yes.
I feel like her being old,
she wouldn't have noticed it.
She wouldn't have noticed it.
I agree with that.
But she spots it in her sundowning stage.
Yeah.
She literally spots the camera, takes a knife. It's almost like she's putting on a performance here. Goes up and just bangs on the door with her knife. They're up. They're terrified.
Yeah. They watch the footage the next day to see if she has the knife, and they're like, okay,
yeah, that's
time to go.
That's it.
All right, we're going to go. While they're like packing and getting everything ready, Stacy knocks on the door. Stacy talks to them.
Because their grandparents are not there.
No, they are. The grandparents are there this time with Stacy.
They're outside with she sees them talking to them.
Yes, and then Stacy's clearly having an argument with them.
Yes.
So they all walk away with Stacy. You don't see Stacy again until one other scene.
Yeah, you do see her later on.
Yeah.
Just hanging out.
So all that while that's going on, they're ready. They're ready to go. When Grandpa's like, it's your last night here. Let's play a board game.
Let's play Yahtzee.
Bro, this scene is so good. When they're playing Yahtzee.
Oh, it's so, like, tension's rising.
The grandpa turns into you, just being a stickler for the rules. He's like, you're not even keeping the numbers right. What are you doing?
What are you doing? Big rules guy.
And they're rolling the dice. He's like, see this? He's a smart kid. He's got strategy.
And she's going to, the young girl is going to ditch off. Okay, well, we should have explained. We skipped a huge...
Yes. You're right.
Because after they see that night thing, that's when they make the call to the thing with Stacy. They make a call to the parent, her mom.
Yeah.
It's time to go. The daughter's now bought in.
That's right. You're right. This is very important.
They Skype her. She's like, no, they're not. And then she puts the camera. She's like, where are they now? She puts the camera up outside. Is this where they're talking to Stacy?
It is where they're talking to Stacy. It was the same scene. I just forgot to mention it.
And then she goes, where are your grandparents?
Yeah.
Because they're outside. You just saw them. You're like, those are not your grandparents. And that was chilling.
It was. Because she's like...
I definitely, as obvious as that may be, I never think of that. Because I'm overshooting it with my
alien theory. Yeah.
Because they're throwing the Sinvertalia cult shit.
And then she's like, don't tell me you've been staying with those people all week. And they're like, yes.
Maybe if you weren't such a shit parents and you're trying to get fucked in Mexico or wherever you are.
Yeah. So she's like, oh, call the police. She's like, I'm coming. I'm coming right now. Which makes me realize she had a car and could have did this the whole time the first time. She didn't have to put him on a train or whatever, but she's on her way. That, like you said, is like very like the real, like, you know, something's going on, but that, like, they're not the grandparents at all. Like, don't even look like them. You're like, so where are the grandparents?
Very chilling scene. Yep. Great Shyamalan twist.
Yes.
One of the better ones, for sure. Also, I think the impact, I'm trying to think now of, like, why this is, because I think the mother, like, a part of this is just, like, it was her like issue with like you find out about the whole forgiveness thing, but like it's that like grudge that she had that like enabled her to put her kids in this position.
Yes, it's
if that
sick.
makes sense. And that's why I think that she even like felt guilt and was like really upset about it at the end.
Especially when she finds out her parents are dead.
Well, yeah, because she does go downstairs at this point.
That's what I say. It's not a spoiler anymore because it's Becca, right? Is the name of the girl?
She absolutely knows they're downstairs.
She goes into the basement. She opens. She's looking. She sees literally all the photos, and that's why there was none. They were all in the dumpster. And then she just finds her grandparents dead in the basement in the dumpster.
Yep.
And she's got to get out now.
Yep.
That's when she's
knees deep in a board game.
Yeah. She goes to the front door, opens it. Don't they see Stacy just hanging
Very
from the
clearly
tree?
hanging from a tree. The grandfather just closes the door.
Yeah. Nothing
And
out
get back
there.
to the board games.
He has to bring the grandma upstairs in the bedroom because of the sundowning.
She starts the sun down. She actually is in a creepy position.
Yeah.
Right, with her hand like up. Like it's that time. It's getting close to
Yeah,
9:30.
so he brings her in. He brings her to sundown.
It's a late night. They should be going to bed, but they're not. Grandfather's up for a late boy.
Yeah, because grandfather locks Becca in with grandma, right? He throws her in for being a naughty girl for looking in the basement.
Yeah.
And then the grandma is going to sundown all over this girl. Does a creepy blanket trick.
Locked in the same room with this creepy layout. In the same bed. Oh, it's so creepy.
The hand just keeps coming up and goes.
Fucking kills her, though. Stabs her.
In the neck with a mirror.
She absolutely has to. She's just crazy. She's also like a killer.
Yeah. Now, there's a scene earlier in the movie where the boy talks about his football career and how in Pee Wee football he froze. And they call it freezing, where you can't move and you just watch everything happen around you. So while the girl is stabbing the grandma, the boy is having his own issue with grandpa, where he is frozen in fear. And he gets a poop diaper smeared in his face.
Oh, yeah.
And he can't move. And I kind of think this part is a little cheesy, where he just starts screaming the football play.
Oh, it was horrible. I agree. So corny.
I hated this part.
Yeah,
it was the one, like, because
He's building a good story, and he has to throw this hyper cheese.
Yeah.
This pretzel cheese.
he just, because he keeps charging at grandpa. He's like, front forward, legs out, like arms out, legs locked, run. He pushes grandpa in the fridge. He starts beating him, and he's like, tackle.
He's like, no, this is like the unfreezing.
Yeah.
This is like all of the football rushing back.
Yeah,
super
it
corny.
was
He
corny.
could have just done this shit without
Yelling. If he just did the freeze and then I didn't need...
Or the audience is not stupid.
Exactly. It's like, I get it. And it's like, I don't need him yelling the football terms at me while he's doing it. He could have just did it.
Yeah.
Obviously, movie cliche. Once the grandparents are dead, the police miraculously show up at this moment.
The kill's brutal, though. He literally just crushes his head with the fridge door.
Yeah.
Continuously.
Repeatedly.
While shouting football plays.
Yeah, that part was dumb. But police show up, mom shows up, they hug, they go back to the house, and this is when, like, I do like one part of this. I know you didn't really like it, and you could go into your complaints about it.
Yeah, it's not like I just felt out of place.
There's one part of it I do like, and it's when she says the day after she ran away, her parents called her and were like, it's okay. You can come back whenever you want.
Yes,
I do like knowing, though, that the grandparents actually reached out. It was actually the mom's fault the entire time, that the forgiveness was always there.
Oh, shocker, it's the mom's fault. This is like Catherine Hahne's worst mom of the year in this movie. Like, she's literally a shit mom.
Yes, because it's so shitty to the kids, because the kids did this to try to mend the relationship when really it was never the grandparents' fault at all. It was always the mom's fault.
Down. The whole storyline was when she left, she hit her mom, who was like barricading the door so she wouldn't leave, and then her father hit her.
Yes. And the whole, like, it's led you to believe they just never spoke after that. But literally, she even says, like, 2 days after that, her parents contacted her to apologize.
She didn't
do anything.
She didn't respond, accept the apology, just ignored them.
So it's literally all her fault.
Yeah, so that's why she's crying. So now she's getting like that. Oh, it's actually like my fault. I put you guys, technically, like, if it wasn't for that, like, I feel like I put you guys through this. After they got it's not even a real elixir. That's a fake elixir.
Yeah.
It's from a couple of fucking crazies from the local sanatorium.
Yeah. Oh, did we mention that?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh,
So
yeah.
the reality is they're literally two killers on the lam. Like when
Yeah.
we said it, they
They escaped from the sanitarium that the grandparents were working at because they knew the grandkids were visiting, so they broke out, murdered the grandparents, posted them.
Yep. I mean, it's the great escape. That's why I like whenever there was a visitor there to check on them.
They weren't there.
What happens? They were never there.
Yep.
They were known to leave at that time. It's a good gig. Problem is, they was sweet. They were living. They were free.
Yeah.
Problem was, kids are coming.
Yeah.
And you can't. It's almost for them like, oh, could you kill the kids? But then someone's gonna go looking for those kids. So they just gotta kind of like ride this out and have those kids.
And they can't hide the crazy.
They can't hide the crazy. That's the problem. Like, you can't compartmentalize the crazy. You have a couple of young kids, a couple of young whippersnappers, one that has a camera. These fucking crazy kids.
Yeah, crazy
getting in our
kids.
shit. So it's funny because they thought they like almost like get away with this, but they are crazy, but they couldn't because of this like whole like gotta send my kids there, and they're just like super obnoxious, annoying, and try to stay up after 9:30.
If they just would have went to bed at 9, none of this would have been an issue, right?
Well, they had one more day to do it, and I think at that point they're like, yeah, I don't.
Well, no, the plan for the grandparents though was to drown them in the well. I think they even revealed that at that point.
They always wanted to drown them in the well, you think?
Yeah. Well, yes. The grandpa actually says, I forgot the woman's name, the bad woman, whatever. It doesn't matter. She wanted to live their grandparents' life because she didn't have her kids anymore. So they killed them to be with those kids, and the point was to send them into the well at the very end of the week.
Got it.
Yeah.
That makes sense. It's just in terms of like what she was saying about the whole like Sinfertalia stuff. Yeah, because that's where the crazy comes in. It's just like if they would have like tried to ride it out, they could have like just got the kids back and they could have been chilling there.
Yeah.
But I guess like because they had the kids with them, it just gave them that opportunity to do that.
To do that, yeah.
To make up for that issue with her loss of family.
Yeah. And then the movie ends with a rap.
The movie ends with a rap.
Yeah.
Yep.
And the less said about that, the better.
Yeah, he raps in the credits, so whatever. In any case,
it's the M. Night Shyamalan. Every kid's got a quirk.
Yeah, I guess for me, like it was such a creepy movie, and then to end on such like a soft, like a soft-hearted, like almost like dramatic finish.
They could have ended it with the police picking them up.
Yeah, like I do like the idea, and I do think you gotta like give that information. But I think the way that the vibe felt at the end, it just like felt like a drama. Like I want like a little creepy ending.
Mm-hmm.
So if they could have just done it in a different way, but maybe like add like a creepy element to finish it, would have been a better move. Because this was definitely a horror movie. This was not
100%. 100% was a horror movie.
Horror.
Yeah, 100%. That's The Visit. I liked it.
Yep.
I think it's a solid 7 out of 10.
Yep.
My favorite parts of the movie, the grandparents, I think were the best part of this movie. I thought they both played their crazy roles great. I think the grandma was the best part of the movie. I think she nailed every scene she was in.
Yes.
I think the writing, like normally my issue with Shyamalan movies is his character dialogue is atrocious in certain parts. Like that was one of my issues I had with like the old.
Yes.
I think this movie he nails. I think besides like maybe like some of those parts with the mom, like everything else between like the brother and sister talking things out, the grandparents talking to the kid, I think everything is spot on, creepy and driven and building, and I really like all of it. Is Shyamalan in this one?
I actually don't think so.
Is this the first one of his movies he's not in at all?
Hold on. He has to. Is he driving them? I think. Is he driving them? Is he the train? Is he on the train?
Maybe.
Yeah. I think he's on the train. I think.
Right.
No, he wasn't the guy that they rapped though.
No, because that was a different guy. Was he the guy who got beat up by their grandpa?
No, I think. Yeah, I'm diving for my phone too. I'm pretty sure he's also in this. 'Cause I don't know why I remember seeing him twice watching these movies last night.
I'm trying to this is the one time I don't remember his cameo. I'm trying to say we'll just check real quick.
Yeah, this is very important.
It actually is. No, he's not listed in the credits.
You're right, he's not.
So this might be the only movie he's not in. Because like you said, I actually really like his cameo of the next movie we're going to do.
Yeah.
And yeah. All right. Well, he's not in it. But anyway, I said my piece. I like it. 7 out of 10. I'll let you finish up with yours.
Yeah, I also have this movie as a 7 out of 10. Good horror, good mystery, keeps you thinking, keeps you guessing. Some things are, I think, a little out of place, but overall, like, it does just keep you guessing. Mm-hmm. It does deliver. Like, the twist is very, very strong. Yeah, I mean, I felt like all around, I think in so many ways, it has you thinking the craziest shit. Like I said, I thought it was a total body snatcher movie, but it's literally just, at the end of the day, a simple, like, two crazies escaping and just trying to live a life literally in like an isolated house.
Yeah.
So it's a cool twist. Now, it's definitely threw me for a loop. I didn't expect it to be as good as it was. Solid.
Agreed. Now, we have, I believe, 3 deaths in this movie. Well, kind of 5. So we got Stacy, we have both grandparents, and we have both real grandparents, I guess, technically.
Yeah, it's Stacy.
Stacy's your pick.
That's who I'm going with. I don't know who you're going with. This might be a Necronoma coin. I'm going with Stacy because it's interesting because, like, they're always out. And you may not pick it up, but, like, they're always away when the people from the mental place come. You don't really know if it's a mental place, but you do pick it up at the end. Looking and trying to check up on the grandparents.
It is pretty creepy when they go to walk out the door and leave, and Stacy's just hanging there, and the grandpa closes the door without, like...
It's even creepy because, like, you finally see them, like, the grandparents and Stacy chat, and they're having, like, a full-blown argument outside, and that's when they they chat with the mom, and you find out that those are not the parents, or, like, what the fuck are they arguing with this lady about? And then, like, you literally, until they're playing on a board game, in broad view outside, hanging from a tree.
It's just there.
They don't fucking give a shit.
That is
crazy.
Good. That is really a good
crazy.
One. Yeah, I was going to say the grandma. I think the grandma's, like, that whole build-up to her, like slamming her head into the mirror and her taking the mirror glass and actually stabbing her in the neck repeatedly while she's, like, on top of her, I think is, like, a terrifying, like, situation. Yeah. So I think today's going to be a necro flip.
Okay.
Haven't done it in a while.
Yeah, we actually haven't.
We've been agreeing a lot, but this is... all right, so I'll let you choose the side then. You got this side or that side. I always forget which side is what.
I will take the main side.
So
the head side.
Okay, we'll take that. All right, so that is the Stacy. It's Grandma.
Okay.
Grandma, you are going in. I'm going to actually call you fake Grandma because you're not the real Grandma. You had a disease I still to this day don't know if it's real or not. Did you look up sundowning? I considered it.
It's a real.
It is real. That's even more terrifying. You were... I'm going to mention one thing about you, Grandma. You were the best baker of all time. Lemon tarts, cookies, brownies, breakfast. She was baking it all and making it all for them. She did her best to be the best grandma she could. Her one issue is she hated a dirty stove. And that's why you had to get deep in there
talk about that.
And reach into the recesses and clean it. And that's why sometimes you close the stove, you get a kid trapped in there. I don't know, it sounds like a fairy tale someone would write. But we're not fairy tale guys, we're Necronomicon guys. So all we can do is put you in our Necronomicon.
That seems to remind me for some reason of Case 39 with the demon child that they try to cook.
It reminded me of, like, it literally reminded me of a fairy tale of, like, Hansel and Gretel, like, go in the stove or, like, leaving the breadcrumbs behind in the witch's house, and they get cooked or try to get cooked in an oven in Hansel and Gretel?
I think so.
Yeah, that's what it reminded me of. Well, that's The Visit. We got, sadly, only one movie left of M. Night Shyamalan August. There was really no clever title to that month. No. Just M. Night Shyamalan August.
That's it.
We're going to end on a banger, though. To be fair, the whole month has been bangers, but we're going to end on a really strong high. We are going to do the classic movie, The Village.
The Village. The 04 classic.
I believe some people don't like this movie.
Oh, yeah,
I think it is a divisive movie.
It is one of those very divisive films where it's a love-hate for sure. And I can see why.
Yeah, I'm in the love category.
I think the twist is strong again. I think the twist is real strong.
Yeah, and I think the acting is so good in this movie. It makes the movie hold up.
I feel like this movie's got like 3 twists in it.
It does, actually.
The one twist I think you can kind of like see coming, but then it has like these other small twists.
I think the biggest twist is the twist after the first twist you knew was a twist.
Okay, that's fair.
If you understand what I mean.
I think there's 3 twists in this
yes,
movie.
Agreed. And I think it's the second twist, which is the biggest twist of the movie.
Fair.
So, with that said, we are the final podcast signing off, and we will see you next week at the Walker Wildlife Preservation.
Yeah, we will.
Yeah.
You gotta love old school historic villages.
Love them. Love going to visit them as a kid.
Yeah, they're fun. It's a good
Great
time.
field trip.
Great field trip. And we're gonna take that field trip next week.
Hell yeah, we are.
We venture to this old-timey village, but you can't go in the woods.
No. Now plug some shit.
I'm gonna plug our podcast. Definitely tune in every Monday. New episodes! New episodes of our low-budget horror series Final Friday starring Mike G on Fridays. Always a good time on the show. We always crack open a couple of brews. Talk about a couple of booze.
Love it.
It's a good time. So we'll see you next week. But if you can, just give us that 5-star on Spotify. Give us that 5-star on Apple Podcasts. And just give us that subscribe. Hit that subscribe. Smash that like button.
Hit subscribe. Hit subscribe. We want to get to 60.
I never thought I'd ever see smash that like button. I can't believe I just smashed that shit.
Smash that shit.